Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Angus Watt, Chair of the Alberta Order of Excellence, and welcome to the 2013 Order of Excellence Investor Ceremony. I guess you could rise, please. Would you please rise for the entrance? I say that because I was looking around and half the people were standing up, right? Would you please rise for the entrance of His Honor, Colonel Retired, the Honorable Donald S. Ethel, Lieutenant Governor of the Alberta and Chancellor of the Alberta Order of Excellence, and Her Honor, Linda M. Ethel. I'd also ask that you please remain standing through both the vice-regal salute and the invocation to follow. It's customary to refrain from singing while the vice-regal salute is being played. That makes two of us. I now invite the Chief Justice of Alberta, the Honorable Catherine Fraser. What? Oh. Thank you. Now, as you remain standing, I would like to invite the Chief Justice of Alberta, the Honorable Catherine Fraser, to offer the invocation.
Creator God, you have called upon us to be good stewards of this province we call Alberta our home. You have generously provided us with choices and the ability to do good, be honest, be ethical, and serve others, qualities which serve to make our province, our nation, and our world a better place in which to live. We are assembled here today to honor 8 very special individuals who have dedicated themselves to improving this world by using their special gifts and talents in the areas of mentorship, politics, community leadership, engineering, art and historic preservation, law and public service, business and volunteerism. Individually and collectively, they have impressed a grateful public with their commitment, captivated us with their humility, and inspired us with their leadership. We ask that you bless the members of every level of government with the wisdom, compassion, and patience they require to meet the various needs entrusted to them by Alberta's citizens. We also ask that you bless the members of our Canadian forces who have dedicated themselves to bringing peace to this world. May they fully know our appreciation for their service and sacrifice. Help us to be mindful of those in need and of how fortunate we are to live in this great nation. Peace to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please be seated. Good afternoon, Your Honors, Premier, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this celebration of 8 outstanding Albertans and the remarkable legacies of service to our province and to our nation. Today, we're making a relatively rare accomplishment because, as you may know, just 132 individuals have been chosen for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence, which is the highest honor that our province has to offer its citizens. If you were to review the biographies and legacy projects and the videos of the Alberta Order of Excellence membership, and it's something I hope that all Albertans will find time to do, you'll notice that certain words tend to come up, and a lot in describing the members of the order. You'll see words like determined, hardworking, dedicated, and passionate. And you'll see words like humble surface with considerable frequency. That is certainly the case in this year's new members. And when you ask them to list their accomplishments, more often than not, they shift the spotlight away from themselves and onto the many teams that they've worked with over the course of their careers. They'll tell you that no one accomplishes great things on their own. Teamwork is a key. While that's definitely a very important component of success, I'd like to offer an alternative view for this consideration this afternoon. It comes from a veteran broadcast journalist, Charles Carroll, who once said, the greatest things are not accomplished by teams. No matter what you've heard, they're accomplished by individuals that have taken the untraveled roads. And it reminds me of one of my favorite stories, and I won't be long here. And it reminds me of Mr. Ford, Henry Ford. And he said, if I listened to everybody, I would have made a faster horse. Just think about it, okay? So we have people here today who are taking the roads untraveled, roads that weren't even made in many cases. And there's no doubt that the 8 outstanding individuals we're celebrating today have been part of some pretty impressive teams. But they have never been followers. They are the ones who have set bold directions, often new and untested, then inspired others to follow their pioneering examples. They've encouraged us to think differently about who we are and what we're going to do as a community or a society. And through their own examples of service, they inspire each of us to do more. The investiture into the order is one way for us to ensure that their contributions and their fine examples continue to inspire Albertans for generations to come. So this afternoon, my fellow council members have the very enjoyable task of presenting our special guests of honor to you and to Alberta. And I'll ask each council member to stand as I introduce them. The Alberta Order of Excellence council members are Brian Fileski from Calgary. And hold the applause, please. Barry Finkelman of Medicine Hat. Mike Fry from Grand Prairie. Audrey Luff from Edmonton. And Eric Raja of Lacombe. Thank you. It's okay, you can applaud. Now with that hefty round of applause, Mike, I'd ask Mike Fry to make his first presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to present Captain Douglas Eaglesham for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. Doug Eaglesham is a long-standing community leader and youth mentor who has made many valued contributions, particularly to the quality of life enjoyed in southern Alberta and the opportunities available to the region's youngest citizens. Doug's fine record of citizenship spans a range of endeavors and includes his long and very productive tenure as a municipal elected official in the village of Cayley. However, his most enduring legacy is most certainly the work he has done to serve and strengthen the Royal Canadian Air Cadet Program in southern Alberta. I could list countless examples of the contributions Captain Eaglesham has offered during his decades-long association with 187 Foothills Squadron, where he has established a record as one of Canada's longest-serving officers in the cadet instructor cadre. But instead, I'd like to offer one sterling example that truly illustrates Doug's strength as a community leader. It was some 13 years ago, and the squadron's continued operation was in real jeopardy following years of moving from one rented location to the next. Rather than continuing to find temporary housing, Doug sought a solution on a much bigger scale. The result was a new, custom-designed facility that was built without incurring a penny of debt and now is wholly owned and operated by the squadron, a feat that is virtually unheard of for cadet programs in Canada. That innovative new facility and the overall legacy of Doug's contributions to the region will most definitely help young Albertans to continue along the path of service and citizenship forged by Doug Eaglesham. In recognition of his excellent service, it is my pleasure, on behalf of the Council, to name Captain Douglas Eaglesham as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
But he is in the military. It's a long-standing joke. Thank you very much, Mike, and congratulations, Doug. Our next presentation will be made by Eric Raja.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend Dr. Roger Gibbons for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. In describing the West as a Canadian frontier, Roger Gibbons has this to say: "The magic of the frontier is a combination of individual determination and zeal, combined with an ability to get together and do great things as a community. I think Alberta has that." For my part, I'll simply add that if Alberta has that frontier quality, it's because of hard-working, engaged, and forward-looking leaders like Dr. Gibbons. Dr. Gibbons has elevated awareness and discussion of the West on the Canadian stage. He has worked to articulate our potential, our strengths, and our dreams as a province, and his efforts have helped to give Alberta a strong voice in national affairs. Dr. Gibbons has been a trusted source of counsel and perspective for our nation's leaders, especially in times of challenge and crisis. And he has also offered a fine example of integrity and citizenship for his colleagues and for the countless students who adopted his infectious commitment to democratic engagement. Through his academic career and his work with the Canada West Foundation, Dr. Gibbons has produced an extensive body of publications and resources that have spurred and will continue to spur important discussion and debate about who we are as a province, a region, and a nation. And through his advocacy of a strong and dynamic Alberta within a vibrant, united Canada, Roger Gibbons has created a legacy of thoughtful service and citizenship that will continue to keep us moving forward for many more years to come. For his long-standing contributions to our province and nation, it is my pleasure, on behalf of the Council, to name Dr. Roger Gibbons as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Eric. Congratulations, Roger. I'd like to call upon Audrey Luft now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend Douglas Goss for the membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. Earlier this year, when Doug Goss was taping his video for the AOE Legacy Project, he was asked one of the standard questions posed to all new members. What does excellence mean to you? Doug's answer was this: excellence is the whole notion of striving to be the best that you can be, either as a society, an organization, or as an individual. It means giving it all you've got. Well, you only need to glance at the extraordinarily long resume of community service and leadership that Doug has offered over the years to see that he is the very model of excellence. In fact, it's remarkable to think that one person has done and given so much to this city and to this province. He is consistently humble about his contributions. More likely than not, he'll simply suggest that his busy schedule is due to a natural inability to sit still. But Doug's service is about so much more than simply being active and involved in the life of his community. Doug Goss brings bold vision and innovation to his work. He inspires people to move into promising new directions and encourages his fellow citizens to think differently, to think bigger. The positive changes created by his efforts can be seen in virtually every sector of society, from business, economic development, and sport, to advanced education, healthcare, and programs for vulnerable Albertans. Doug is the very definition of citizenship that the Order was created to celebrate, and his remarkable example is an expression of the Alberta spirit at its very best. For this and many outstanding contributions to the province, it is my privilege, on behalf of the Council, to name Douglas O. Goss as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Thank you very much, Audrey, and Doug, a big congratulations. I'd now like to call Brian Fileski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am very pleased to recommend Dr. George Govier for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Sorry, it's a great being fondled by her. It's one of the advantages of being a senior, right? You're a master of your craft. Leave him alone.
It is impossible, indeed, to tell a story of Alberta and to describe its prosperity that we're so fortunate to enjoy without speaking of the natural resources that have fueled our success. Those who work in the industry are quick to point out that the big strikes of the last century were just the first chapters in the journey. The discovery of oil came the need for highly skilled and nimble workforce. One workforce capable of leading innovation and making the most of the gifts that we have received. Our precious resources have also demanded careful stewardship, careful management, so that future generations can enjoy Alberta's bounty. Dr. George Govier has been a leading force in that essential work. He has had a direct hand in training generations of engineers who've gone on to be leaders and innovators in our industry. And he has quite literally written the book and books about pipeline flow and pipeline transmission. George is also a leader in the work to establish forward-looking principles and regulations for the development of Alberta's energy resources. And the standards that Dr. Govier set some 60 years today are still with us today. In addition to helping set the stage for Alberta's prosperity, he has provided valuable guidance for many other jurisdictions throughout the world in the development of their natural resources. And despite the critical, seminal stature of his work, George remains a humble person, humble about everything that he's accomplished. No doubt the name Govier is firmly linked into some very important moments in all of Alberta's history. And with this investiture, we can ensure that it always will live and endure. In recognition of his many accomplishments and his contributions, it is my privilege on behalf of the Council to name Dr. George Govier as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Obviously, you're a doctor with a signature like that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Congratulations, George.
Thank you.
Barry, if I could ask you to come up, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council of the Alberta Order of Excellence, it is my great pleasure to recommend James Marshall for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. When you consider the history of Medicine Hat, clay and brick emerge as important factors, not simply as building materials for the community, but as media for the city's success and the role it has played in developing the province as a whole. It's a history that stretches from the early days of Alberta's industrialization to the artisans of the famous Medelta potteries to the art and innovation of James Marshall. His unique pieces are beloved fixtures for residents, and they also draw aficionados from around the world who stop in Medicine Hat to visit community landmarks featuring Jim's work. Jim's artwork is quite literally chiseled into the very fabric of the city, and his murals and sculptures also stand in places across Alberta and Canada, as well as overseas. Jim's contribution to the arts and to Alberta communities as a whole also include his painstaking efforts over the years to preserve our architectural and cultural heritage. I can tell you, as a proud member of the Medicine Hat community, and as someone who has seen Jim in action, that no one is more dedicated to the cause of preservation or more deserving of this recognition. Jim has been a passionate and effective advocate for saving our cultural heritage, because Alberta's early structures have a beauty that deserve to be passed down to future generations, and because they tell the story of where we come from and who we are as a people. And now, the art of James Marshall has become part of the Alberta narrative. It is innovative, evocative, and built to last. And it is a legacy that I hope Albertans will enjoy for countless generations to come. On behalf of the Council, it's my pleasure to name James A. Marshall as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence. Congratulations. Look this way. Thank you. Thanks very much, Barry, and congratulations, James. Audrey, if I could ask you to come back to the platform.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is my pleasure on behalf of the Council of Alberta Order of Excellence to recommend the Honorable Anne McLellan for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. If you ask Anne McLellan to define the characteristics of leadership, she'll tell you that honesty, integrity, and respect for others are essential traits. I can tell you that Anne has those characteristics in abundance. They are traits that Anne exemplified throughout her distinguished tenure as a Member of Parliament, during which she set a record as Alberta's longest-serving MP. In her work as Cabinet Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, Anne never lost sight of her goal, which was to serve our province and nation with honor. She proved herself to be an effective, astute, forward-thinking public leader whose approach was always to respect differences and build consensus. The result was meaningful, positive change for her fellow Canadians. The legacy of Anne's service in Ottawa can be seen in areas that directly impact the quality of life we enjoy. From the strength of the Alberta energy sector to the safety and security of our communities. Anne's legacy of service has definitely continued following her life in politics. In addition to resuming work as a distinguished academic, she has maintained a tireless dedication to community work, sharing her trademark energy and insight with a long list of organizations. When presented with honors like the one offered today, Anne is quick to highlight the teams she has been involved with over the years. But teams can't succeed without strong direction. Success demands a clear and intelligent plan. It requires respectful and compassionate approach. And above all, success begins and ends with energetic and visionary leadership. These are gifts that Anne has always shared with her fellow citizens, and our province and nation are much stronger for her contributions. It is my honor, on behalf of the Council, to name the Honorable A. Anne McLellan as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
As Lieutenant Governor, I'm not supposed to be involved in politics, and I'm not supposed to kiss politicians.
Go ahead.
And the cameras are all turned off. Congratulations. No kissing. I'm not in politics. Thank you very much, Audrey, and a deep, deep congratulations. Eric, would you come up, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend Catherine Roozen for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. Our province is full of unassuming and largely unsung community heroes who do remarkable things for their fellow citizens without ever expecting fanfare or recognition. In fact, like true heroes, they go out of their way to avoid the spotlight wherever possible. Instead, they draw satisfaction from helping others and are driven simply by their desire to build a stronger community and province. It's a trait that's common among the ranks of the Alberta Order of Excellence, and it's one exemplified by Kathy Roozen. When I visited her a few days ago to talk about the award, she asked, "Why me? There are so many others." Over the years, Kathy has established herself as a trusted business and financial industry leader who is highly respected for her insight, clarity of vision, and sound judgment. And along the way, she has also practiced a quiet but meaningful brand of philanthropy, generously giving her time, energy, and resources in order to further the work of many worthy organizations. Kathy has made valued contributions through her leadership of the Allard Foundation, her own personal acts of generosity, and her service on a long list of community and not-for-profit boards. She has been instrumental in directing meaningful investments to essential Alberta institutions such as the University of Alberta, Newman College, and Grand MacEwan University. She has been an ardent supporter of research designed to position our province at the forefront of medical innovation and create exciting possibilities for the future. And Kathy has also paid attention to serving marginalized Albertans and fostering a strong quality of life for all. In short, Kathy, you have put your community and province first, and Alberta is a better place for your service. In recognition of her extensive contributions, it is my pleasure, on behalf of the Council, to name Catherine M. Roozen as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence. Congratulations.
After all these years, you're scared of me. We won't go there.
Don't sign, you gotta get back in the middle.
Well done, Eric. Kathy, congratulations. Mike, for our not necessarily best, not necessarily worst, but our final one for tonight. Yeah, certainly the most charming one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Bible says the first shall be last also. On behalf of the Council of the Alberta Order of Excellence, it is my great pleasure to recommend Honorary Captain, Navy, retired William Wilson for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. Bill Wilson's fans, of which there are a great many, have described him in the following ways. Some of them think of him as the godfather and the guiding light of the military museums in Calgary. Others turn to him as the doyen of all things military in Alberta. And almost everyone who has had the pleasure of working with the man knows him simply and affectionately as Captain Bill. What makes Captain Bill such a great citizen is his remarkable ability to rally people and lead them to a common goal. He is unflagging and tenacious in his approach to every challenge he takes, driven by the sole focus of serving his fellow Albertans and Canadians. Bill's contributions to Crown and country include his service during the Second World War, where he fought for 3 years in the Battle of the Atlantic, and along with all those who served in the war and took part in the landings at Normandy, became a hero in the eyes of his fellow Canadians. His distinguished record of service further includes his valued work as a long-standing and highly regarded member of the Royal Canadian Naval Reserve. Bill's contributions also include his extraordinary efforts to help all citizens understand and appreciate the sacrifices of our fallen heroes and the contributions of all Canadians in uniform. Our society owes a great debt to men like Bill Wilson, and the honor we're offering today is just one small way to thank him for all that he has done for Alberta and Canada as a whole. In recognition of his long-standing service and dedication to the greater good, it is my pleasure, on behalf of the Council, to name William H. Wilson as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Before I put this on, I do have to tell a story about that. I could tell a story about each of the recipients, but I saved this to last. Bill Wilson is known as Captain Rabbit. For those of you that are in the military or were in the military, a rabbit is somebody that can scrounge anything regardless of rank. And he can. If you ever go down to the Naval Museum and see the guns there, I don't know how he did it, but they would magically appear on donated low beds or trains coming out of Halifax or Victoria at no cost to the public. He's a masterful scrounger. Of course, if he was in the military today, he'd probably be arrested. When Bill was involved in the Naval Museum and I was on the periphery doing Army things, he heard I was going to San Diego. Don, I want you to go down to the naval yard there and scrounge a catapult. A catapult is something that throws aircraft off of aircraft carriers and bring it back to me. Yeah, right. It only weighs a few tons. What am I going to do? Check it? Anyhow, that didn't happen. But he was serious. He didn't talk to me for 2 months. Anyhow, Bill, this is not bad for a Navy guy.
I can tell you I've had fun so far. Hopefully you have too. So I would at this time like to thank my council members for the whole process, and I'd like to congratulate the 8 distinguished new inspiring new members of the Alberta Order of Excellence. Congratulations. Well done. Well deserved as well. I was going to give you a little story, but there is dinner, so I'll wait. So, Your Honor, I'd now like to call upon the Lieutenant Governor and the Chancellor of the Alberta Order of Excellence, His Honor, Colonel Retired, the Honorable Donald S. Ethel, to deliver his remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those of you that aren't aware, Colonel and Naval Captain are equivalent. You're not out of here yet, Wilson. Anyhow, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, Premier Redford, Chief Justice Fraser, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and recipients, and Captain Wilson. It's my sincere pleasure to join you in celebrating the 8 newest members of the Alberta Order of Excellence, and to thank them for their exemplary service to our province and nation. These outstanding individuals are fine examples of a powerful approach to life that was once described by the great Sir Winston Churchill. Churchill said, quote, "What is the use of living if not to strive for noble causes and to make this world a better place for those who live in it after we are gone," unquote. I think you'll agree when I say that our guests of honor tonight have not only strived to make our world a better place today, but they've also created great legacies for future generations to enjoy. These 8 remarkable Albertans have fostered positive and lasting change in their communities, in our province, and in our nation as a whole. They have inspired us to think in new ways, to reach for ever higher goals, and to constantly redefine who we are and what we can contribute as Albertans and Canadians. They have served their fellow citizens with tremendous spirit and strength of character. They have more than earned this special honor. It's my pleasure to thank and congratulate Captain Doug Eaglesham, Dr. Roger Gibbons, Doug Goss, George Govier, Jim Marshall, the Honorable Anne McLellan, Kathy Rozen, and Bill Wilson. Thank you for all you have done and will continue to do to make Alberta a place that we all can be proud to call home. Thank you, God bless, and God save the Queen. Enjoy this well-deserved celebration. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Your Honor. And before we conclude, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of this year of some great Albertans who were members of the Alberta Order of Excellence. And they include Bertie Fowler, former Premier Ralph Klein, Harry Hole, James Palmer, and Barbara Poole. And I would ask that we observe a moment of silence to remember the great citizens and to honor all of those AOE members who are no longer with us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this concludes the formal part of our celebration today, our ceremony. I would ask you to stand for the singing of our national anthem, played by Ancora. After O Canada, I invite everyone to proceed to the second floor for the pre-dinner reception. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love
King's command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, and keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So please remain standing for the vice-regal party